The sizzling of onions on a hot grill mixed with the faint aroma of freshly baked bread drifted across the downtown street. It was noon rush hour. Hungry office workers, college students, and construction workers all queued up in front of a small, beat-up food truck parked by the curb. Inside, 24-year-old Emily Carter was working as fast as her tired hands would allow. Grease clung to her apron, strands of hair kept slipping from her messy bun, and sweat glistened across her forehead despite the cool fall air outside. Emily wasn't just a worker here, this was her truck. Her late father had saved for years to buy it, and when he passed unexpectedly, she had inherited both the business and the debt that came with it. Every grilled sandwich, every order of fries, every bottle of soda she sold meant another dollar toward keeping her dream alive. But dreams had a cost. While other girls her age were out traveling, shopping, or posting perfect lives on social media, Emily's world revolved around this food truck. Early mornings at the market, long days cooking, late nights scrubbing grills until her hands ached. She rarely smiled anymore, and when she did, it was more for her customers than herself. "Number 24!" she called out, handing over a wrapped cheesesteak to a man in a suit who didn't even look at her before walking away. She sighed but kept going. The line stretched further than usual today, and she didn't have time to dwell on her exhaustion. But then, as she glanced up, her eyes froze. Standing about 10 people back in the line was a man she had never expected to see again. Tall, sharply dressed, broad shoulders beneath a dark tailored coat, with an air of quiet confidence. His hair was neat, his watch alone probably cost more than her entire food truck. And yet, his eyes. Something about them tugged at her memory. Emily quickly shook her head and looked away. Customers first, memories later. Rich men came and went in this part of the city, most of them treating people like her as if they were invisible. She couldn't afford distractions. By the time he reached the front of the line, Emily was back in her rhythm, not even glancing up as she asked, "What can I get you?" There was a pause. Then, in a low, almost playful whisper, he leaned forward. "Still remember me, Em?" Her hand froze mid-motion, a spatula hovering above the grill. Slowly, she lifted her gaze. The world seemed to stop. It was Daniel Brooks, her childhood best friend. The boy who used to share peanut butter sandwiches with her at the playground. The teenager who worked summer shifts with her at the local diner. The young man she had once confided all her dreams to, before life had pulled them apart. Emily blinked, her throat tight. "Daniel!" He smiled softly, his voice carrying both warmth and a strange sadness. "It's been a while." But while the sight of him tugged at her heart, something hardened inside her too. Because Daniel wasn't just anyone now. He was the CEO of Brooks Enterprises, one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the country. She had read about him in the news, seen his face on magazine covers. His empire stretched from real estate to tech startups. And she was flipping burgers out of a rusty food truck that barely ran. Embarrassment flushed her cheeks. She quickly looked away, forcing herself back to the grill. "Order?" she asked flatly, as if he were any other customer. Daniel didn't push. "Grilled chicken wrap. Extra sauce. Just like you used to make at the diner." Her hands trembled slightly as she prepared it. Memories of them laughing behind the counter, sneaking bites when the manager wasn't looking, came rushing back. She fought them off, clinging to professionalism. When she handed him the wrap, he didn't move away. Instead, he set down a $50 bill. "Keep the change," he said gently. Emily shook her head, sliding it back. "It's $10. I don't need charity." His eyes searched hers, something unspoken passing between them. Then he gave a small nod, pocketing the bill without argument. Daniel stepped aside to let the next customer through, but he didn't leave. He stood near the truck, unwrapping his meal and eating slowly, his gaze often flickering back to her. Emily tried to ignore it. She told herself it didn't matter. He was a millionaire now, living in skyscrapers and attending galas. She was just a food truck girl. Their worlds no longer matched. But fate wasn't done with them yet. That night, when the crowd was gone and she was scrubbing down the grill, Emily heard a knock on the side of the truck. She looked up to see Daniel standing there, hands in his coat pockets, the city lights casting a soft glow behind him. "You still close up by yourself?" he asked. Emily frowned. "Always have. Why are you still here?" He smiled faintly. "Because I wanted to see if you're okay." The words caught her off guard. For years, no one had asked her that. She had carried the burden alone, never showing weakness, never letting anyone in. She swallowed hard. "I'm fine. Just tired. Like always." Daniel stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I know you don't want pity, Em. But I remember you. I remember the girl who dreamed of opening her own restaurant, not just a food truck. The girl who never let me eat lunch alone when I couldn't afford it. The girl who gave without expecting anything back." Her eyes stung with tears she didn't want to shed. She turned away, scrubbing harder at the counter. "That was a long time ago. Things change." But then Daniel said something that made her freeze. "Not everything changes. I still owe you." She turned confused. "Owe me? For what?" His gaze was steady, filled with sincerity. "For believing in me when no one else did. For reminding me I was worth something back then. You don't know this, but those moments kept me going. You're part of why I became who I am today." Emily's chest tightened. She didn't know what to say. Daniel took a breath, his voice softer now. "I don't expect you to forgive me for disappearing. I just wanted you to know I never forgot." For the first time in years, Emily's walls cracked. A single tear slipped down her cheek. Silence lingered between them, heavy with memories, unspoken words, and something new, something that felt like hope.